Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Corinth. Today is a short but sweet episode on drainage. And I'm here with Glenn Barker, our Director of Public Works. Glenn, we're talking drainage, and we're going to go right out the gate with Shady Shores Road. What do you have for us?
So Shady Shores Road we originally had it as a three-phase project, but we just found out that Denton County is going to let us start design. And design is we're going to reduce the flooding in front of West Shady Shores and repair the road to curb and gutter is the overall objective.
So it's about a $16-17 million project.
Yes.
Denton County's putting in about 14. Corinth and Shady Shores are picking up the rest. And they have just approved us for the design process.
Yes.
How long does that normally take?
We're probably looking at a year.
Okay.
9 to 12 months.
So a year of design, and then construction and repairs will begin in earnest after that.
Yep.
Do we anticipate about another year
For designing or
to actually get the project done?
probably a year and a half,
year
2
and a
years. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what is this solving for us over on in this part of town?
So right now we have flooding along West Shady Shores. All the water collects there and heads out to the lake. So we'll actually put curb and gutters. All the water will go underground, so people won't be flooded. They won't flood their houses.
So this is where the big drainage ditch is.
Yes.
So when that was designed originally, was that sufficient for the city, or was it a little less than sufficient?
So we did a study last year, and it was determined that it wouldn't even handle a 2-year flood. So we're going to try to get it up to the 100-year flood mark.
Which is probably not news to anybody that lives over there, I'm assuming.
They definitely let me know.
They definitely let us know, which is great.
Yes.
That they let us know and we're able to get that
Yes.
fixed. Our next drainage project, Glenn, Lynchburg Creek. So this has been an ongoing saga for us for quite some time. It started when FEMA redid our flood maps. They had to redo our flood maps because it was time, but they had more rain gathering information data sites, and what that looks like is it put part of the area around Amity Village, I believe it is, in the floodplain. And so we flew to Washington, D.C. to beg for some federal money to help us. Since you revised your maps, we need your help to fix it. They said, not a problem, but we need a certain number of those homes in that area to have flood insurance, because that's what FEMA looks at to mitigate the grant money. So then it just took time. So now over time, enough people in that area got the flood insurance, which has allowed us to receive the grant money. And that was about 75% of the total project cost?
Yes.
Okay, so the total project costs are somewhere between $3 and $4 million. Where are we at with this? When can we see that I can remove flood insurance from my home in that area?
So there's about 100 homes that are in that floodplain, and we're at 75% design. We have to acquire one more piece of land, and we're hoping for construction to happen this winter for that area.
And that'll take about 6 months, a year?
Another year and a half, 2 years.
Another year and a half to 2 years.
Yes.
So well, it's the vast majority of homes in that area,
Yes.
literally. I mean, we're down to a very small handful that we'll have to retain because they're close to the creek.
Yep.
But everybody else, within another season, maybe 2, will be able to remove the flood insurance from their home, and it will be nothing but a bad memory from that point on.
This will also impact behind the community park. There's homes there that are in the floodplain, and they'll all be removed from the floodplain.
From a general perspective, that's great. Do you want to give us some details on what this project's actually going to look like?
Yeah, there's going to be, at the end of Silver Meadow, there's going to be 2 detention ponds in that area. And then we'll do some work at the community park. We'll put a detention pond there as well that actually utilized during regular weather as a practice soccer field. And we'll do some benching along the Lynchburg Creek, so it will affect some of the Dora bike trails in that area.
Okay, so detention means that it's going to be dry most of the time unless
Yes.
it rains.
Correct.
Retention means a pond, essentially.
Yep.
So it will not be a pond. It will look like a normal field unless we get a flooding event.
Yep.
Then that area will be used to fill up.
Yep.
From a drainage project perspective, those are the 2 big ones that we have moving on, or moving forward through the process. But Glenn, you have implemented some great processes in the city, and I want to touch on those. So we have a public works program where we've divided the city into four quadrants, and there's a drainage component to that maintenance process. Do you want to fill us in with that?
Yeah, so what Public Works has done, and like you mentioned, it's separated into four quadrants. We're currently working in the oldest quadrant of town, which is Amity Village area. For drainage, that includes scraping the ditches, inspecting every piece of pipe in the area for drainage, and it also the storm inlets.
Sealing manhole covers?
Yes, all of that.
So we are going through doing everything from routine maintenance to system updates as required maybe by state or federal law, all the way through it's just old and it needs to be fixed.
Correct. Yep.
The four quadrant philosophy, Glenn, I think is great. What I'm reading into that is that we're going to address each part of the city once every 4 years. Is that how that cycle works?
So it'll be once every 5 years. The fifth year, we'll take care of the major projects that we found during the first 4 years of each quadrant. So every 5 years, we will touch every single piece of land, property, asset the city owns.
Wow. So as always, I guess, Glenn, preventative maintenance is less expensive than major repairs. Is that the hope?
That is the main goal, is to reduce overall budget, not having to go for capital projects constantly. We're catching with the little things, pay 10 cents versus a dollar. So.
Okay. So that wraps our episode up for today. I want you guys definitely to like and subscribe. Follow us on social media because we've got a lot more good episodes coming up. We're going to talk water rates, we're going to do an Agora update, and we're going to do a deep dive into our sewer system. So until then, let's talk Corinth.